Hi guys, welcome to today's video. In today's video, we'll look into a scenario in which the Achaemenid Empire has returned. As you should know, the Achaemenid Empire stretched from Europe to the Indian subcontinent, to Central Asia to East Asia, from North Africa to Southern Africa, and according to this, is more so centered in the Middle East. So we will see what it would do if it came back. And the first thing that happens is, well, what's left of Egypt kinda collapsed. And because of some problems they run into, they had to make agreements with their neighbors about how to split it. Because not only did they get most of the land, but these two nations also snuck in to take some land. So yeah, right away already neighbors are trying to do stuff you don't want them to do because you weren't quick enough. So that's a note. Always be as fast as you can be. And as we look, we can see the partition of what was left of Egypt. But their plans are much bigger. Their real plans is to march into the Middle East, the Arabian Peninsula, and take what they think is theirs. Because they already have the dominance over the oil in the world, although oil is one day going to be useless. Right now, it's pretty useful. But yeah. But then again, electricity is probably better at this point. But yeah. And guess what? It's my birthday, viewers. Yep, it's my birthday. And that's great news. But yeah. That is today. And so the Achaemenid Empire begins its expansionist tendencies into the rest of the Arabian Peninsula. With Saudi failing to counterattack, and Oman gets invaded. Unable to do much, Oman falls. Let's think of it. Pakistan has 200 million people. Egypt has 100 million people. Turkey and Iran have 80 million people each. Saudi Arabia has 30-something million, I believe. So, yeah. So, there is a lot of people in this area of the world. And Ethiopia, the parts of Ethiopia probably add up to a big chunk of people. And also, there's parts of India that's populated. And this area is straight up annexed into the country. Why not? They just annexed the desert. Yay. Me being funny, but yeah, they just annexed the desert. That's literally the truth. And Everai fears this empire. That they're coming for Europe craze. Which they even declare war on what's left of Greece, Albania, and Bulgaria at the same time. Serbia comes into the war, with Albania and them unable to do anything. With Romania being brought into the war too, because Greece asked them, so they join. Requests they assist the nation. And so with this nation, they're now expanding into Europe. And all these nations I thought they would be able to counterattack have failed. With their military being very big. With the Balkans being a small step further. India, Germany, China, Russia, Italy, Albania, and France all meet in Europe. Well, really, they all meet in Moscow and they plan a pact against the expansionist country of the Achaemenid Empire, and countries join after they have created it. And yeah, this might be a better color to be able to see for the sake of this video. With Bosnia, Croatia, Hungary, and Kosovo joining it. See Sudan joining it, Algeria, France, the United Kingdom. We see Japan and South Korea. We don't see North Korea because, yeah, that wouldn't happen. That's basically called the World Defense Pact, is what they name it. And basically, this pact involves 2 North American countries, meaning that if the Achaemenid Empire invades this, they might be able to win, maybe, but they most likely would lose. And all the nations that wanted to join it, not fully all colored in, but yeah. If they wanted to join it, they have now. Hey, there's also Montenegro who joined. And so, yeah, let's see what they expand now. Let's see where their expansion brings them now. To Libya. But not to Chad, because why not? Why would we go there? Really, their goal is just the coast. Inland areas is a bonus, because those countries can't be stable. And it would allow other nations to become stronger. They have learned the Egypt fiasco. During this invasion, Tunisia joins us back, with them becoming one of the strongest nations, probably. With them now putting troops on all the borders they share with what they're considering the axis of evil to them. They think the world is after them. But let's go to the southern expansion, because they have some southern expansion to deal with. Declaring war on both Ethiopia and Somalia, who are now working together. Shocker. But their expansion into Ukraine is what they're planning now in the Balkans, as they're putting a big, broad amount of troops in Africa, everywhere that this pact could possibly attack them from. As they're now invading from the north. Somehow, this is how their invasion pattern doesn't make sense. So little sense that it causes them to win. Apparently. Ethiopia right now, look at their empire versus that. As they have started their war against Ukraine. Nations are called in, basically. Right now, what happens? These nations are now at war with this expansionist empire. World doesn't know what to do yet. They tell them to withdraw from Albania and Ukraine now or face the brute of their force. Or they say, yeah, what force? And they're like, well, you don't have enough troops to beat us now, do you? Yeah, but you have the better technology, maybe. Who knows? May the best fighter win. And yeah. The blue team has the advantage in terms of land area and population. But yeah, with Sudan being unstable at this point, they take advantage of this situation and take Sudan out. And to make a stable front, they do this here. That's how they stabilize the front. India and China and Russia and Central Asia, on the other hand, do have a bit of the upper hand. But will it be enough? India manages to invade these lands. And these lands. But this is lands they lost to them. So, like, yeah. Let's say the capital is somewhere neat. But yeah. With Russian forces going from the north. Looking like this empire isn't having the best day. And this front. Let's go back to the Ukraine front. They take advantage of this front to head towards Moscow. And they even move up from the south with 2 spearheads. They're making it a lot larger just to strengthen it. I'm even making 2 spearheads come off these to take a big chunk of Ukraine. The Balkans, they have a good advance in. And so on with these 2 spearheads headed to Moscow. Which Moscow's about right here. So yeah. This turns the encirclement of Moscow in the battle, which they win. But at what cost will this take? Them securing these lands with like millions of troops. And them thinking they can take Russia out of the war soon. With them taking St. Petersburg quickly because most of the troops, yeah. With them now having a good advance into Europe. But that's until the Americans arrive in Europe to hold their advance back. And Finland just beats Finland. But then the winter in Russia comes. So yeah, with Finland and Russia working together to knock it back. Which goes pretty well. They even retake Moscow. But yeah, they still manage to hold a strong front. The Americans, seeing that weaker of a defense here, they land a bunch of troops here. And with this amount of troops they do have, they manage to take a long push into North Africa. And they don't realize there is a defense somewhere. North Africa finally comes to a halt. This is where the defensive is made. This offensive in this area going pretty well. That's the amount of lands that they're holding in Europe being good for them. As they're starting to invade Kazakstan after they took the Caucasus out of the war. And the second battle of Moscow breaks out. The third battle, which they win. And I'm going up around where Finland has troops because, yeah, they can't beat Finland. But if you look at their empire, they're starting to get more and more split on the multiple fronts. They're fighting a multiple front war, with America seeing it as a prime opportunity to land in the Middle East. In Operation Sand Desert. Yep. And I'm unable to hold this back. But they eventually do come to a stalemate. And that's how it ends up being. Now the American troops in Europe decide to make a launch towards Finnish forces, with the forces here actually withdrawing. With this empire seeing that it's probably not going to win this war right now, unless they can somehow get out. With the fourth battle of Moscow being a decisive victory, meaning that it's fully taken quick. With them kicked all the way back to here, Central Asia is becoming more and more of a hassle to hold up. So this empire decides it's time to surrender. And so they do. And after their surrender, they are in a treaty. But it's not as tough as you may think, as most of the countries around do lose land. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, countries have gained, but in the Balkans they have gained. Italy has gained a bit of what they didn't take, but yeah. And so as you can look, if you look at this map, although it looked like they might have had a chance, they didn't really, because they were against about 3 billion people, but yeah. Well, really, they were against 2 billion people. They didn't have any friends, so it was hard for them to win, and they didn't lose that bad, considering. But, I don't think they did as good as they were hoping. And, if they didn't decide to surrender then, well, it would have been a different outcome. And they can just take the territories they lost back. Well, that's pretty much all for today's video. As with the with empires coming back, I like to, let's say, make it so it's enjoyable. And that ends with a big war. And once the big war is over, that's pretty much the end. And thank you for watching today's video. And please like and comment on this video, so that'd be great for the channel. And that's all for today's video. Wild Mapper out. But not until you subscribe. Bye, guys! And get to 1,200 subscribers before August 1st.